Hello everybody and welcome to another video where today I want to put some games on your radar. There's just been a Steam Next Fest and as usual it was jam-packed with demos of upcoming releases from indie creators. Next Fest is such a wonderful way of discovering new games and I'm all for supporting smaller developers trying to put their names and games on the map. It's been an absolute delight going through the list and downloading some demos of games that really stood out to me, so I thought I'd make a list of 5 games that really impressed me so that anyone watching can learn of their existence and put them on their wish lists. So without further delay, let's jump into game number 1 that really impressed me. Game number 1 is Scarlet Deer In by Atu Games. What really caught my attention is the game's art design. I immediately fell in love with the beautiful vibrant colours and its setting. I'm a sucker for anything medieval looking, so the setting is an instant win for me. At first it reminded me of a Highland song that I played quite a while back, but after playing Scarlet Deer In, I learned that the character images are actually embroidered, which really separates the game from the rest and gives it its own identity. You can really tell this is someone's passion project and that a lot of love is going into this game. It's visually beautiful and there are a few scenes I'd love to have as my desktop background. It's set within a world inspired by Slavic folklore, which isn't something that gets the spotlight much within the gaming medium or maybe any medium, so it's nice to see something different and I'm very excited to find out more. So what is it exactly? Scarlet Deer Inn is a 2D narrative platformer where you play the role of Elise, a woman who runs the inn. You quickly learn that she is well known within the community and is depended on by both customers and her family. The demo has you running a few simple errands to begin with you exploring the village and speaking to various characters within it. But everything is not as happy and nice as it seems. It does an excellent job at giving you a false sense of security. At first I thought it would be a fun and overly positive experience, but it quickly takes a very dark turn that left me very intrigued and wanting more. The sudden shift in tone didn't feel out of place. It felt very natural and welcomed, and I appreciate the pacing of the demo. Gameplay wise, with it being a 2D platformer, there's a lot of jumping between ledges and exploring. There wasn't any combat in the demo, but the trailer on the Steam page seems to hint at some, and you are able to hit walls to open up passages, so perhaps this is something we'll see more of in the full game. It seems that light will play a very important role in this game, as it was made very clear that you must stay within the light to avoid death. The light management adds an extra level of challenge as you're not able to explore dark areas without consequence, but it never became annoying. I was also impressed with the game design. You're able to open shortcuts back to previous areas and feel the satisfaction of connecting each area. Before wrapping this section up, I want to quickly mention that I really loved the music in this game. It matched the tone of the scenes perfectly and really added to the overall experience. The developer, Atu Games, consists of only a husband and wife, which is a really beautiful thing and I wish them all the best for this game. It now sits comfortably on my Steam wishlist and I recommend you do the same. Scarlet Deer In is set to release on Steam, Switch and Xbox and it's without a release date at the moment, but please follow their website to stay up to date. Moving on to the next one. Is this game trying to kill me? Is the name of the next game. Developed by Stately Snail, this is a game I wouldn't usually play, but the trailer was enough for me to give it a go. You play as an unfortunate character who is woken up in a strange room, who's met by a spooky looking guy who has a fun game for you to play, and if you fail, well, you die. Is This Game Trying to Kill Me is a puzzle game, but with a fun twist. At first it appears to be a first-person game, but there's also a 2D computer game in the room with you that you can control. You then learn that the two worlds are connected, so some objects that you interact with in the computer game can change the room around you, so you really have to study your surroundings and do a lot of thinking outside the box. For example, there's one part of the computer game that requires pushing a directional button that isn't there, but it is in the real world with you. Another example is inserting 3 tablets into a wall so that a path can be opened up within the computer game. I found moments like this to be really enjoyable, which made me go, that's clever, and I thought the concept was really well executed. It's obviously got a horror vibe to it, so it was perfect playing it so close to Halloween, and I like the goofy humorous tone it was trying to achieve. I think this is one of those games that would be really fun to play with a friend. The demo is very short and I didn't find it too challenging, which says a lot for its difficulty because I am very stupid, but it's a game that's grabbed my attention and I'm really looking forward to finding out what else they can do with this formula when the whole game comes out on Steam on the 13th of November. Oh, and don't forget to wishlist it. Support your devs. Up next is Silent Sadie. When I stumbled upon this game, I was really drawn in by its style. It's basically a silent movie that you can play. Silent Sadie is developed by Capra Games, and it's a 2D action-adventure platformer where you play as an aspiring actress called Sadie. It's set at the beginning of the 20th century, the golden age of Hollywood, where silent movies were prevalent. Imagine a Charlie Chaplin movie, but playable. You'll be running, sliding, and gliding through this demo as you make your way through various movie sets. I was really impressed with how this game looks. It's black and white with a grainy filter and does an excellent job at transporting you back to the early 1900s. The sets all look really good, and I especially love the moments running between the sets where you can see adverts in the background. The developers have gone the extra mile to really capture the essence of the 1920s. As you'd expect with a silent movie, musical instruments compensate for the lack of spoken word, and so music plays a very important role in this game. The game features a dynamic music system that matches Sadie's actions. For example, jumping results in a little burst of violin treating our ears, or sliding down a rope is complemented by someone sliding their fingers across a piano. The soundtrack is exactly what you'd expect from a game of this setting, and I was grooving to the music as I was going along. I did enjoy the gameplay. It reminded me a lot of the Dorito Crash Course game that came out way back on the Xbox 360, if anyone remembers that. There will be moments where you have to time your jumps perfectly, avoid obstacles, jump on trampolines, and swing to out-of-reach places, and for the most part, it all felt very fluid. There is a part that involves sneaking, which I wasn't too keen on. It slows the action to a halt, and it involves a lot of waiting, but fortunately, it doesn't take up a big part of the demo. There were a few moments where the gameplay felt quite clunky, so I think it does need a lot more polish, but let's remember, this is a demo, so hopefully the devs make some changes. Oh, and the last sequence was so hard. It was such a sudden shift in difficulty, so that's another thing I hope the developers look at. Anyway, I really enjoyed Silent Sadie, and it's also earned a place on my wish list. There's no release date yet, and I think it's only coming out on Steam, but I recommend keeping an eye on this one if you enjoy fast-moving platformers within a fun, exciting world. This next game is something that's right up my alley. Hark the Ghoul by Deep Denizens is a game that ticks all my boxes. The way I describe this game is if Hollow Knight and Bloodborne got into bed together and had a low-poly PS1 era first-person child, which are words I never thought would be leaving my mouth. Hark the Ghoul is a weird, dark, gritty dungeon crawler where you play as a character that can kick, swing a sword, shoot a gun, and use magic. It's 100% a Souls-like, with it featuring bonfire-like checkpoints, areas that interconnect, and difficult combat. I was immediately a fan of this game just by the way it looks. It feels like the low-poly PS1 style is becoming more and more popular, and I'm honestly here for it. I loved Signalis and Crow Country, so I really hope this is a trend that continues to rise in popularity, and I think Hark the Ghoul will massively contribute towards that. Traversing through this demo was an absolute joy. It felt like I was walking through Yharnam, and everything was just so mysterious. Similar to Yharnam, you can hit doors to hear some dialogue from the residents, which adds to the mystery of what happened here. The atmosphere this game conjures is what I look for in a game, and I loved walking through the streets and discovering what was around each corner, which is greatly complemented by the music. The character designs are excellent, and I found some of the enemies genuinely terrifying, especially in really dark areas with low visibility. I found the combat to be excellent. Using a combination of the sword and gun felt really good, and each kill was really satisfying. With it being a Souls-like, the game is quite difficult, but that's what I love. You never know when the next checkpoint will be, so carefully navigating the streets and choosing your battles is always worth it for that feeling you get when you reach the next safe haven. I felt great satisfaction in upgrading my weapon and abilities, and nothing can ever beat that feeling when you unlock a shortcut and you start mapping out the area in your head. It's a game that just feels really good to play, and I can't wait for the whole thing. Hark the Ghoul doesn't have a release date, but it's due to release sometime in 2025 for Steam. I don't think I've put a game on my wishlist as fast as I did with this, and I highly recommend you do the same, because I think the developers have something really special with this one. And last but not least, we have Orbo's Exodus. What even is this game? I'm still not sure, and I've completed the demo. I think I'll just show one part of this game as it accurately sums up the experience for me. When I saw this game for the first time, I was drawn in by just how stupid and dumb it looks. I love anything stupid, and this game just looks like a massive acid trip filled with absolute nonsense, so I hit the download button so hard because I knew I needed this in my life. And I wasn't disappointed. Orbo's Exodus is developed by Fever Dream Johnny, very aptly named, and Drury Lane, and it's a 3D platformer action adventure. You play as Orbo, and after crash landing on a mysterious resort, you traverse through many weird worlds to make your way home. The demo featured only one of those worlds, but it was more than enough to get a taste for what this game is all about. As you'd expect from a 3D platformer, you'll be running around large areas, jumping from platform to platform with many power-ups at your disposal. You're able to jump and shoot yourself across the map, you can dig underground, and you can roll up in a ball for fast traversal. There are various characters that give you tasks, there's collectibles for you to find, and it's just also weird. It's the weirdness of the game that made this so enjoyable enjoyable for me, I think. I found it also funny. Why is this person skiing so fast around a tree? Why are there lizards singing in a cave? Why is there a random picture in this lift? There's even a character who wants to create the color purple and you're tasked with helping him, and the dialogue with this character is nothing short of incredible. Everything about this game is just so outrageous and insane that I couldn't help but fall in love with it. And aside from all the weirdness, I found it to be a pleasure to play. The controls are really tight and intuitive, and most importantly, it was just really fun. It provided a good level of challenge, and I never became bored during my time with it. After doing some research into the game, I found that the developers have already released a game called Orbo's Odyssey, which I'd never heard of until now, and I'll definitely be giving it a go. So if you're in the mood for something that doesn't take itself seriously, wants to deliver a fun time, and is just straight up mental, then I really recommend Oros Exodus. It doesn't have a release date yet, but it's due out on Steam in 2025. Don't forget to put it on your wishlist. So there you have it. 5 games from October's Steam Next Fest that I highly recommend and are all now sitting happily together on my wish list. As I mentioned previously, I love Next Fest and how it provides a platform for indie developers. I wouldn't have known these games existed without it, and I hope this video is able to help them just a tiny bit more. I'm playing indie games more and more these days. I think they show off the most creativity in the industry, and these 5 games are a testament to that. Please let me know what you think, and if you discovered any standout titles yourself, please let me know because I'd love to check them out. Thank you so much for watching. If you got this far, consider liking the video and subscribing. You're all the best, and I'll see you in the next one.